Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool and this is Gems of War. And today I'm going to be going over the top 20 legendaries in the game. We had a chatathon last month. The extra little special thing we did on the chatathon was come up with the top 20 list for all the legendaries in the game as of what was it, man? It was end of July 2025. So if new legendaries have come into the game, that's probably why you aren't seeing them on this list. But yeah, this will be a shorter video than that. If you want to see the original, it's the chatathon from July that has us going through all the legendaries, picking out the good ones, slotting them, rearranging them, honorable mentions, etc. Input from the chat. So yeah, this will just be us documenting it on a shorter video for more people to see. Just the results. I'll give a little bit of a, reason for each one, but a little bit less in this one. Number 1 is Tesla. Tesla is awesome. Tesla deals true damage, boosted by all ally and enemy armor. True scatter damage, boosted by all ally and enemy armor. So she ends up hitting really hard, boosted by armor. You get 50% starter with Holy Saint Astra. And as the enemies get stronger and stronger, she hits harder and harder. So it's really nice. The best legendary in the game, Tesla. Make sure you get it. It's the only one that I would recommend getting in the Soul Forge, because the next one you can get in the Underworld. You don't need it to get it in the Soul Forge. You can get the top two without, yeah. You don't have to get this one from the Soul Forge, basically. But number 2, the number 2 best legendary in the game of Gems of War is Queen Beatrix. Mostly for the Royal Honey, cleanse all allies when matching 4 or more gems, but it's awesome as well with its spell here. Create 9 green and 9 brown gems, then deal a bunch of true scatter damage. There are independent 40% chances to gain an extra turn and half my mana back. Get 50% started on Wild Folk. It's just really good, man. Royal Honey. As soon as you get this troop, you can do way better in dungeon every day. In case you get like a death trap, a silence trap, use Queen Beatrix. Queen Beatrix just, throwing up all the green and the brown and getting an extra turn most of the time. True damage to all enemies once again. It goes good with, almost everything. Like, you throw this on the team, you might as, it can go on anything pretty much. But mostly true damage teams. Or you're using it for the Royal Honey. But Queen Beatrix is number 2, the second best legendary in the game. The third best legendary in the game is a rather new one. So I decided that Emberclaw is the third best legendary in the game. So if you see this one in the Soul Forge, you need 3 of them. So potentially, maybe. Every time I say that Tesla is the only one you should be crafting in the Soul Forge as a legendary because it's smarter to save up for mythics and get legendaries from keys. Well, I've been trying to find a caveat. Maybe it's Emberclaw since you need 3 of them. But Emberclaw, Elemental Urska, you can 50% start it on Elemental. It's from the Nexus. It explodes a road, deals true damage to the first 2 enemies, boosted by Elemental Stars. But mainly, it's the convert a purple gem to an Elemental Star when my turn begins. So, it's like a Kafru, a Takshaka. It's more like a Takshaka than a Kafru, because it's actually good, other than its third trait. Like, Kafru is really good with its third trait, getting up Chrysantherax or whoever. But like Takshaka is really good with its third trait and with its spell. And, Emberclaw is more like a Takshaka, I would say. But it's really good, not a mythic, and if you don't have Kafru, or Zarg Boompile or Takshaka, you can use Emberclaw instead. And I like to use it with the Ruby Weapon. Ruby Weapon, triple Emberclaw, one of my favorite mid teams to mention on lots of teams for lots of videos. But Emberclaw is my number 3. Number 4, we have the Miraji Queen. So 2 of the top 4 you can get super early in the game in the Underworld without too much trouble. Miraji Queen, 50% start for Elemental. We just saw an Elemental, Emberclaw. Rowan is an Elemental. Chrysantherax is an Elemental. There's so many good Elementals. Elementalist is an Elemental. So really good 50% start because Elemental is probably the best typing in the game. And 33% skull reduction on top of that. And it has a good spell. Curse all enemies. Convert all green gems to Doom Skulls. So it's just good all the way around. That first trait's the only thing lacking. And, yeah, everything else is great about it. So, number 4, the Miraji Queen. Put yours in the comment. If you disagree, if you think I left something off the list, if you think something else should be in the top 3, you put it in the comments. That's what the comments are for. Alright, we're getting into the last of the top 5. Here comes the last of the top 5. Number 5 is King Gob Truffle, the Truffle Shuffle, the only true infinite loop in the game for real. So we have to shout out this goblin, this elemental, this easy to get troop that just loops and loops and loops and never gives the enemy a turn. King Gob Truffle is number 5. Underworld, super easy to get. Deal damage to all enemies, create a mix of 14 green and brown gems boosted by poisoned and diseased enemies, gain an extra turn. So it's an extra turn every time you cast it. And then it gives a bunch of green and brown so it can get itself back up, it can get other Gob Truffles up, it can get Queen Beatrix up, it can get Sycorax up, whatever you're doing. Other goblins up. So, on top of definitely 100% chance gaining an extra turn, it also throws up a bunch of green and brown, and it uses green. And you can 50% start it. You know, its traits are like, but it's awesome. Top 5. Truffle Shuffle. Forest Troll, Gob Truffle, Doomed Glaive, or whatever iteration of it that you do that can do like Deathless 500 and all kinds of cool stuff. Alright, number 6, I went with Venoxia. This might be where you start to disagree. I think Venoxia is a little bit underrated in this game, overlooked. It hits really hard with true damage. I like it. It is a Mist of Scales dragon, green and purple. Creates 9 green and 9 blue gems, then deals true damage to all enemies. So I like to use it with Shagaroth, Queen Beatrix, you know, Takshaka. There's lots of good stuff to use this with. And it also poisons a random enemy in 4 or 5 gem match. Venoxia is like, you get Queen Beatrix, and then you're hoping after that. You know, you get your goblins, then your Rowan team, and then your Queen Beatrix, Gob Truffle, Miraji Queen, and then like right after that you're hoping for like Tesla or Venoxia. I happen to get Venoxia. It goes really good with Queen Beatrix. That was my next team after Rowan. So it's really good. I like it. Don't forget about Venoxia. Alright, number 7 is Sir Quentin Hadley, the second best 50% start in the game. 50% start to knights. Knights such as Guard's Avatar, Commander Dawnheart. Both of those boost off of armor. Really easy to boost and can hit all enemies, kill all enemies, make events really fast. And then he has a really good spell too. Convert purple gems to yellow and green gems to skulls. Deal damage to 2 random enemies. So it uses yellow, it converts purple to yellow, green to skull on top of that, and hitting 2 random enemies. Just look at all the stuff it does. 25% skull reduction as well. You're mainly going to use it to 50% start Guard's Avatar or Commander Dawnheart or something like that, but it's backup too. It's got some firepower in its back pocket as well, like the Miraji Queen. It's not just one of those Essentia 50% starts where all it's doing is 50% starting something. This thing has or Kafru, where all it does is blow up the board. This thing, I mean, Kafru has its conversion, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's got some firepower in its back pocket. It's there if you need it. It's not going to just 50% start. It's awesome. Sir Quentin Hadley. Alright, number 8 is Web Spinner. Don't forget about the Web Spinner, the lethal toxin. 16 blue greens all carry Demon. Deals damage to all enemies and poisons them. Creates 9 green gems. It uses green, so you cast it, you cast it, you cast it, you cast it. Maybe it loops, maybe it gets some skulls while it's looping. And then it inflicts web when doing skull damage and then deals triple skull damage to poison and webbed enemies. So it does triple skull damage to webbed, and it inflicts web when doing skull damage. And it poisons when it casts. So it does both the thing, it does either one, it got both of them, and it does triple damage to either one that it's got both of them. It's awesome, and it uses green. So it can do damage to all enemies and crush their face in with skulls. And its boost ratios are boosted by stuff that it already does, like its triple skull damage, its lethal toxin. So, Web Spinner, rounding out the top 8. Number 9, rounding out the top 10, we got Divinish Bala, an oldie but a goodie. Another good 50% starter. 18 yellow, purple, Liana's Empire Divine Human. Transform red gems to skulls and green gems to yellow. It uses yellow. Enchant 2 random allies. That's always nice. 40% start for Divine. They need to up that to 50%. I don't know why they still got that on 40%, but it's like the Maze Banner or the Arania Medal. Like, pff, you know, they'll do it one day maybe. But it's a 50% start pretty much for Divine. You know, Arc Proxy Avendra. There's other Divines. Oh, Divines are hard to think of. Is Takshaka Divine? Something like that. You know, there's Divines, so she 50% starts them. And, you know, Keelan goes really well with Divine Ishbala, Moon Rabbit, Rope Dart, Arc Proxy Avendra. But then it does all this too, on top of the 50% start for Divine. Enchanting, Scald damage, and then green to yellow back into itself, or the whole rest of the team. I usually use it on like an all-yellow team or an all-Divine team. Alright, we had to give Queen Titania, you know, top 10. Put it at number 10, but it's an oldie but a goodie once again. Queen Titania. You'll see it in like world events or, you know, stuff where, you know, the extra spell damage with the metal. It's still good for hitting all enemies really hard. 16 red, purple, bright forest, fey, mystic. Deal damage to all enemies, boosted by red enemies and allies. If there are 13 or more red gems, gain an extra turn. So I just realized it'd be pretty good as a vault key troop, because, you know, 3 of the enemies are red. If you make like an all-red team with her on it, and then faced, you know, opened your vault keys, and there's 3 red treasure gnomes, right? Might be okay there. Just like Ferocity would be okay for that. Most of us use Chrysanthrax or Tesla or Ruby Weapon or something, but just saying, maybe. Alright, Fairy Fire is a random enemy in 4 or 5 gym match. So, hits really hard, could get an extra turn, has a boost ratio, and Fairy Fires. So, really good troop. Oldie but a goodie. Another oldie but a goodie, we got Glaceon. I couldn't leave it off the list. I got it at number 11. It used to be up in the top 5, but there's so many good legendaries these days. But Glaceon just stood out to me as something I wanted to put on the list. 20, purple, brown, Drakzum, demon, monster. Pretty high mana cost for a legendary, but transforms yellow gems to blue and transforms red gems to skulls. Frees the strongest enemy. 65% skull reduction, that's pretty high. So really good troop, goes good with King Bloodhammer. If you ever see this thing in like a level 500 delve, you know, you probably want to avoid it, because it's going to give you a spanking. It's going to spank your butt, give you the belt. Commander Dawnheart comes in at number 12, I think. Something like that. Number 12. He is just like your budget version of Guard's Avatar. You can 50% start him with Sir Quentin Hadley. He boosts off of armor. He hits all enemies. He does not care about your stinky submerge, because he doesn't do AoE. 16 yellow, brown, white helm, divine knight. Deal damage to 4 random enemies boosted by my armor. 40% skull reduction and impervious. So super solid legendary. I put it in the top 12. I use it all the time for my mid teams with Sir Quentin Hadley. So yeah, I had to put it up there for that. Alright. Now we're getting down to the bottom. Your rest of them, you could have a bunch of different stuff. It is what it is. This is the bottom, you know, 8 troops for the top 20. So we're getting into the teens now. The teens. Number 13 is Shagarath, one of my favorites. Maybe a little bit of personal bias, but it is awesome if you really think about it. 16 blue, purple, Dripping Caverns, Groshnock, Elemental Monster. So we can 50% start it on Elemental. It's another one of those Elementals. Elementals are good. It's silence and deals true damage to the first and last enemies. First slot, last slot, bang, true damage, bang, silence, silence. Explode 5 gems of the most used ally mana color. So of your team, whatever your most used color is, it's going to blow 5 of those up. And then enrage a random ally when an ally casts a spell. So it's giving out enrage. It's giving silence to the enemy. It's hitting multiple enemies with true damage. It's blowing up the board. So pretty cool. It does lots of stuff. You can 50% start it. It's true damage. It's underworld. Dripping Caverns, easy to get. Let's go. Shagarath. Show your Shagarath summer. It has an awesome audio clip. It's like, I don't know, it screams. It's sick. You should use it more. Alright, I put Chernabog at 14. And it's 14 mana cost. Purple, brown, Hellcrag, Demon Construct. Construct, super easy to start. Geomancer, right? Create 10 brown gems and explode a bunch of gems. So it's a really good mana generator with a perpetual poopy storm. A brown storm. So, conjure a dust storm when my turn begins. Well, your turn begins, brown storm. 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 Just keeps happening over and over and over, so you have a brown storm the entire freaking fight. Sometimes you'll get a storm, and it's just like, at the start of the fight, you get a glitter storm. Well, the glitter storm only lasts for like 7 turns, or 10 turns, or 8 turns, whatever it is, then it goes away. Or something else comes in and stops that storm from happening, some other storm. Well, this one, it just restarts every turn, so it never goes away. Alright, 50% skull reduction on top of that. So anytime you see a storm that starts when my turn begins, it's good. So Bane of Ambition, I think Scylla maybe, Chernabog, there's many. Umber Wolf, I think. Alright, next up we got Crimson Bat. I think this was one that was up for discussion. Look, it's 15, and it's 15. 14, 14. Ooh, I wish that was 13. 14, 15. Maybe the next one will be 16. So number 15 is Crimson Bat. I think a few people were like, I don't know about that. Why are you putting that on there? Well, I use it a lot. It does true damage to all enemies. You can 50% start it. It gains life. So, I don't know. I like it. 15, blue, red. Galvania, Undead Monster. Can 50% started on Undead. Deals true damage to all enemies and gains 16 life. Deal double skull damage to wounded enemies, Undying, and deal double skull damage versus Divine. So, you know, if you said it should go down a couple slots or maybe go in the honorable mentions, I wouldn't argue too much, but it's just like, I use it. I use it when I do an undead team, it's lower mana cost. At 50% start it, boom, it only needs like 8 mana. And then bang, it hits all enemies for true damage, and they're all dead. Like, it's pretty good. You should try it out if you haven't used it. Just like Shagarath, give it a shot with Ghost Queen. Alright, the Great Worm, is this 16 mana cost? Because that would fit so perfectly. It is! Look! Number 14, number 15, number 16. The Great Worm! Another one you need to get 3 of. But you can get this one in the Underworld, unlike Emberclaw. 16 red, yellow, Worm Run, Dragon's Claw, Dragon. Deal damage to all enemies. That's what most dragons do, right? But this one is boosted by skulls and creates 2 skulls when my turn begins and has 30% skull reduction. So that's why I like it. You put like 3 on your team, now you're creating 6 skulls when your turn begins, every turn. And then you're boosted by skulls, so you're hitting them with skulls, you're hitting them with, you know, damage to all enemies, and it just keeps going up because you keep putting more skulls on the board. I don't know. It's skull and spell. So, and it's easy to get, and it hits all enemies, and it's a dragon. You get 50% start. I just like it. It's good. So that was number 16. So now we're down at the bottom here. This is the last of the top 20. These right here are ones that I just could not leave off the list. It's kind of like, well, we got to put these on the top 20, but I'll put them on the very bottom. All right, so we got Yao Gui. Yao Gui is like the godfather. You got to pay it respect. It was the best legendary in the game for a while, you know? You like have to put him on here just out of respect. He's got to go in the Hall of Fame or something. Yao Gui. 15 green, red, Shintang, Elf Demon. Deal damage to the first 2 enemies, boosted by my life. Steal magic, 4 magic, from both enemies. Transform all purple gems to red. So it hits hard as F, and then it turns purple to red. So if you do that at the right time, you can then get it right back up with the next turn, and then do it again, and then 2 enemies are dead. And it's just going to hit harder the next time, too. So really cool troop. It's kind of like Queen Titania in that doesn't get used as much as it used to, but it's still just as powerful as it's always been. Yao Gui. Alright, the Empress. Probably the best tarot card. Tarot cards are legendary. It is used. It boosts, it buffs your last slot. That way your last slot can then do enough damage to one-shot. So it's definitely useful. It's a strat you can do. So it's on the list. It was one of those. So 6 green Kaziel Construct. Give a bunch of stats, 56, so 1 more than your magic. Give 56 to all skills on the last ally. So that's magic, you know, 100%, because it's all skills. There's a 7% chance of an extra turn for each green gem on the board. So you should probably be doing like a green team with a green storm. Grant a random status effect to a random ally when an ally casts a spell. So yeah, the main strat with this is to put like your best damage dealer in last slot, and then cast this on it, and then boom, you have enough damage to one-shot. Holy Saint Astra, she is literally only on this team because the #1 legendary is Tesla. So that's pretty much the only reason. 14 green, yellow, white helm, divine human. Give life and armor to all allies, create a light storm, and enchant all humans. Spell's not bad. It's not like a Cynthia bad, but mostly here to 50% start humans. The best legendary in the game, which is also one of the best troops in the game, is Tesla. So her sister, her partner in crime, is Holy Saint Astra. So it's kind of like Hulk Hogan with Brutus the Barber Beefcake, bringing him everywhere he goes. It's kind of like Adam Sandler with Deuce Bigelow, the male gigolo. Like, Tesla brings along Holy Saint Astra, and that's why she gets into the club. Alright, Essentia. You know, Chrysantherax is bringing Essentia. You know how you like if you're a hot girl or a you know, or Fabio or something, you're gonna bring like your ugly friend with you to the club. That way you look that much better. Well, that's what Chrysantherax is doing with Essentia, bringing Essentia along so Chrysantherax looks so much better. But we got to put Essentia on here just because of Chrysantherax. 14 blue, yellow, Dragon's Claw, Dragon Mystic. Summon 1 to 3 Dragon Spirits. If there was already a Dragon Spirit on my team, explode 10 gems. So that does nothing a lot of the time. But it's 50% starting, the strongest troop in the entire game that has a very high mana cost. So it's knocking its mana cost in half. It is a summon if you need it, but most of the time you don't. So it's number 20 just because. I don't know. You could probably... Oh, with like always, the last troop on my list. I'm sure you can find something to replace it. It's like with the mythic. I have a mythic top 20 that I also did. I'm gonna link probably the chatathon where we did the top 20 legendaries, but I also did top 20 mythics on the chatathon before last, I think. So we're going down this path of doing our top 20s. All right, honorable mentions. Did I even do them? I did. Shagra, I love Shagra. It's on my red elemental team. It got a buff recently, semi-recently, you know what I mean? It was always kind of good, and now it's even better with the buff. Not that many people use it, but it creates 7 red gems, then converts all red gems to skulls, so it's very predictable in what it does, and then you can use it, you know, less predictably, and it sometimes will still do the thing. Like, it's creating red, and then turning all the red to skulls, so it's nice. And it deals double skull damage versus burning, and burns a random enemy matching red gems. So it's cool. It's elemental, it's dragon. It goes good with Mirage Queen, it goes good with a bunch of stuff. Gorgatha was also on the honorable mentions. 15 yellow-brown KZL Demon. Explode a bunch of gems and cleanse myself, so it can't get, like... Put it in first slot, it can't get entangled, stuff like that. Reduce damage from skulls by 75 freaking percent. If you said Gorgatha should be in number 20 instead of Essentia, I probably wouldn't argue with you. 25% chance to summon an ancient horror on death. I think Gorgatha was on the top 20, and then I think the chat took it out. Can't remember how it went. Alright, Tannenbaum is good. 16 green, yellow, silver glade, elemental fey. Deal damage to an enemy, then entangle them and pull them to the front. Deal triple skull damage versus entangled enemies. 33% skull reduction and impervious. So it's like the web spinner, but just not as good. Not as good. But better than Borealis, for example. Somewhere in the middle. Qatari King was the one the chat put on here. Like, we kind of discussed it. So, you know, they weren't so sure about Shagra. You know, Essentia was talked about a little bit. There was one other one, and then Qatari King they put on here. So, 16 red, yellow, Divinian Fields, Raksha Centaur. Deal damage to 3 random enemies, then create 3 to 6 times 3 wild cards. All Centaur allies start with 50% mana, reduce skulls by 20%. So you can thank the chat for Mist Mother on the Mythic top 20, and you can thank them for Qatari King making it on the honorable mentions on the Legendaries. Which it was one of my options, but I made a poll and then they chose this, so, you know. Same thing with Mist Mother. We made a poll, they picked Mist Mother. So they were able to take something off the top 20, and they were able to put something on the top 20. I can't remember what it was exactly, because I think there was one that they put on here. It might have been one that I was already talking about. But, I don't know. Can't remember which one. Maybe it was Glaceon. It was something. Definitely Qatari King. And I remember Mist Mother from the Mythics. But anyway, that's my top 20 Legendaries. Tesla is number 1. Queen Beatrix is number 2. Ember Claw is number 3. The Miraji Queen is number 4. King Gob Truffle is number 5. Vanoxia is number 6. Sir Quentin Hadley is number 7. Web Spinner is number 8. Divine Ishbala is number 9. Queen Titania is number 10. Glaceon's number 11. Commander Dawnheart's number 12. Shagaroth is number 13. Chernabog is number 14. Crimson Bat's number 15. The Great Worm's number 16. And that worked out with their mana costs. Yao Gui is number 17. Empress number 18. Holy Saint Astra number 19. And Essentia number 20. We had the honorable mentions that just missed the cut of Shagra, Gorgatha, Tannenbaum, and the Qatari King. So yeah, this was a lot harder than top 20 Mythics. There's way more Legendaries, so this one should probably have more discussion in the comments. I'm sure you're not in total agreement, but yeah, if I was going to tell y'all which Legendaries to look out for, it would be, you know, the ones I just mentioned there, starting with the top 4 and moving down the list. So definitely look out for these troops. You can get 2 of those in the Underworld, and then next up start looking for these. You can get this one in the Underworld, for example. So you can get 3 of the top 5 Legendaries in the Underworld. You don't have to just get lucky. You can just go get them. So go get that King Gob Truffle, go get that Miraji Queen, and go get that Queen Beatrix, and that would be a great start for your Legendaries. Anyway, that's it for this one. This is your extra video of the week. I've been trying, y'all. I stream every time I'm supposed to. I put a video out every day. I post every day. And I've been giving you an extra video here and there. So, even more than last month. So, I'm hoping it all works out. Please show your support. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, consider joining. It helps a lot. Tell your good about the channel, comment below. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.